Oh, geez, abide. We've got Steelers Bengals tonight. I'll give you my thoughts hours away from this. We've got Prop-A-Shot going on FanDuel Sportsbook. Do you like Gronk's picks better than my picks? Go put your money where your fun and responsible mind is. And mouth is mind, mouth. Put your money where your mind is. That's not it. It's because I'm old that I'm saying that. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, just like Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco. What are they doing that we're not talking about enough? And we have Sunday Night Football analyst and PFF overlord Cris Collinsworth joining me as well. PFF, under attack. We're going to get into all of this. I want to know his thoughts on Sunday Night Football, on the MVP situation. Like, is Patrick Mahomes' game? Is he going to give Baker the nod? How badly does he want the Colts to get flexed into SNF on NBC lore? And also, we've got NBA action. What's Tarico talking about ahead of that debut? I'm so much to talk about with Cris Collinsworth. If you guys have questions for him, hit me up. And we also have Eagles legend and 6-time Pro Bowler Donovan McNabb here as well. We got the Unc Bowl, of course, tonight. And what's going on in Philly? Week 7 in Cincy. Andrew Whitworth, ruler of the jungle, as he should be. We got lots going on with the slate here. Matthew Hamilton, another doubleheader on the docket.
It's a good one.
Bucks at Lions, both sides banged up. Maybe that'll make a difference, though, for the Bucks to get healthy. Is there any chance these receivers come back?
It doesn't look like it as of right now. They are still pretty banged up there, but that hasn't stopped Baker yet. Okay. Yeah, and he's gotten a win in Detroit in his career last year, early last season. And then the other game is a big one, too. Texans at Seahawks is turning into a pretty fun one. Those Texans have been playing pretty well lately.
They still have a losing record. They want to make it even, Steven. Of course, we'll see what happens, that doubleheader Monday to wrap up what starts tonight, which is week 7, baby. There we go. Let's do this thing. I'm excited about our guests. I love having Cris Collinsworth on the show. We were in the morning meeting and talking about, like, how do we want to start? Is there anything fun going on? Like, we always plan something for Cris, and it gets blown to absolute smithereens the second he comes on because he just takes it some other place. We talk about 90s jeans. We'll talk about, I can't remember the other ones, but somebody's golf game or like whatever happens. But we've got a lot of questions for Cris. Yeah.
And he lets it rip on this show for whatever reason. He's loose. He just, you never know where he's going to go. It's always fun.
Do we ask him about Troy? He was in a booth with Troy. It's a complicated thing for me as a host because I'm like over it in a way. Like it's become this like weird personal thing and like it's strange. And it's also a story as old as time. That the mob thinks that, like somebody's out to get them or giving too much love or not enough love or like this is like death taxes and that. So I don't know why this one is sticking so much. Probably because Caleb chirped about it and had something to say. Something I also love. I will get out there before we get to the Unc Bowl. I think this is great. And we talked about this in the morning meeting. Like, Chicago coming together to rally around a quarterback wearing their jersey. What is not to love about this? Granted, he's won back-to-back-to-back, which is beautiful. Like, right? So that makes sense that they're rallying. But do you have your guy? Are we now like if we're defending Caleb collectively, that means we love Caleb, embrace him, even if he doesn't win all the time, which of course we know. I'm on the record saying they're going to win the next 4 of their games. Shock, horror for the Ravens fans who are due to get Lamar back. Okay, let's get into old people. Old people playing football tonight. Let's do it. Bengals fans did not love that I discussed the potential world where there's a discussion or a thought of TREY Hendrickson getting dealt from these Bengals. I want to clarify things a little bit here. I don't want the Bengals or their fans to give up on their season. It is not. You are not cooked. A win tonight completely flips it and changes the outlook on the year and gets them right back where they should be in the mix in the AFC North. If, though, somehow they fall to the hands of Tomlin and DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers, if they fall to 2-5, are you cooked? Maybe you're not cooked. You see, sure, you could dig your way out of that, but you have to, at that point at 2-5, entertain the idea. If you are serious about your organization and its health, That's it. If you love your team, you're entertaining that idea if they go to 2-5 after tonight, which they probably won't because they're going to kick everybody's ass tonight and they're at Paycor. I wish I was there tonight. And the reason you have to entertain it is because you did not marry him. You did not walk down the aisle. You played a little game. You're leading him on. You said, Trey, I love you. Move in. Move in with me. Let's not move in. Let's see how it is. Let's get a dog together. Trey Hendrickson. That's basically what happened here. It's not even having a baby. A 1-year deal does not let's have a baby to save the marriage or relationship make. You did not put a ring on it. You asked somebody to move in. As someone who has been there before, that is what this is, let me tell you. This is an attractive trade candidate that can take a team and put them over the edge. All of these teams are in contention in the AFC. It's the perfect storm for a bidding war, for a piece like this on a 1-year, get me to a Lombardi, push me all the way, snatch that Lombardi and raise it, okay? If they can land, you're telling me, Bengals fans, if they can land an extra first-round pick for a Trey rental, getting assets and cap space that can help fix this O-line and add more pieces to the defense, sounds pretty good. And what's trending towards, if they lose a lost season. That's all I'm saying. Hamilton, I will say, I can hear the Bengals fans while I'm saying this. Cincinnati. There's a criticism that might be fair about their drafting.
Yeah.
What say you about that? How about them apples?
I mean,
how about them graders?
I mean, Jamar Chase is a pretty good pick. I'll say that. Cam Taylor-Britt, there have been some hits,
Okay.
They've had their fair share of hits. I think on the offensive line, there's a fair criticism there that they haven't done enough to address that in the draft, and they haven't hit on enough picks there.
But there is a distrust there. There's a distrust if you have a certified baller piece and you're going to give him away, and I don't trust how this team drafts. There's that exists. I kind of get that. I think that's what we'll hear from this. We'll see what the internet has to say. And everybody watching on YouTube, and we appreciate that. And please do subscribe. We have Cris Collinsworth on the show. If that's not worth a subscribe on the Up and Adams page, I don't know what is. But that will certainly be discussed. They're not cooked. At 2-5, when you stick that thermometer in the turkey, like it's coming back. It's coming back. It's time to eat. Like that sounds pretty cooked from then. And again, like you didn't marry. You didn't marry him. You should have married him if you don't want to have this discussion. Am I wrong, Hamilton?
You're not wrong. With this being a 1-year deal, that's really the thing that opens up this window. And again, if you're probably going to lose them in the offseason anyway, which is where this is trending with them not getting that long-term deal done, you might as well I know you'll get a comp pick if he walks, but you could potentially get a first-round pick with, I think, the way that this bidding war is shaping up.
But it's going to be a first-round pick late in the first round. If it's the Colts.
Which is better than a third-round comp pick 2 years from now.
All right, I'm just saying. I don't like the Bengals fans saying you absolutely can't. You have him for like you have him for like 10 more weeks. You said
I don't know that they've come to grips.
What the Bengals did with Trey is say, I don't want, Trey wants to get married, and the Bengals said, why don't we like both put our names on the utilities? Why don't we'll both be our Netflix, we'll both play for the Netflix. Like, why don't you come in and we'll buy a mattress together? It'll be let's get a really nice, why don't you move it? We'll get houseplants together. We'll get a dog. That is what the Bengals did. The Bengals did not say, I'm going to your dad to ask for your hand and God bless you. Amen. That is not what happened here with the Bengals, and that's why we're having this conversation. Thanks, Ham. On the Steelers side, very excited to see them in primetime. I think this team is going under-talked about right now. And here, too, that's our fault. We've not talked about you much, Steelers. I know that they might not be very flashy, though I thought they'd be more flashy. The numbers might not be jump off the page stuff. But if we ever ignored a foreign team more than this 2025 year of our Lord Steelers squad, I don't know. The overlords at FanDuel, they've taken forever. Literally, we've been tracking this forever to say, all right, we're going to give the Steelers the fave spot over the 1-5 Ravens. That's insane, right? The margin's still pretty slim there, by the way. Pittsburgh -160, Baltimore +175. Is it because people are hesitant to buy into Aaron Rodgers? Do they think at a certain point he's just going to turn to stone? turn to ash here? I don't understand what's going to happen. Does he break his hip? What are we talking about? Not have enough icy hot or something? What's the deal? If that's the worry, I've got a little something for you. As I thought might be the case this offseason, being another year removed from his Achilles injury, Aaron is looking like his MVP self this season. If you don't believe me, take a look at how these first 5 games stack up to the first 5 games of his most recent MVP year. Yards per game down a little bit, fine. But Aaron has the exact same touchdown to interception ratio that he had in 2021, an identical record, neck and neck in yards per attempt, and he has a higher passer rating overall. The man is locked in, and I do think the only reason the yards are down a little bit is because the supporting cast outside of DK is not the best, okay, especially after a few of the injuries that they've had. I don't know if a big night against this Bengals defense is going to make anybody buy in on Aaron. It'll just be, oh, we did it against this Bengals defense, it's so bad, blah, blah, blah. But 5-1 is 5-1, y'all. And if they keep winning, they're going to force the issue here, talking about him as what he looks like, which is an MVP caliber quarterback, and what they look like, which is a legit contender in the AFC, especially since no one in this conference outside of the Colts has been consistently winning like them. Very under-talked, very crazy. By the way, we're going to take a short break. Cris Collinsworth is here. I do want to tell you, the overlord's very happy with everyone. We are really bringing it with these international early morning things. That means you guys are getting ahead of it before you set your little cute head on the pillow before these early night games. You are taking advantage of a 30% profit boost. Pick an anytime touchdown scorer. We are boosting around the world. I believe the game's at Wembley, which is very exciting. There are no restrictions. You pick. You want Devontae Adams? Go for it. You think newly baptized Travis Hunter gets his first career touchdown? Absolutely. Angels in the outfield, that one. Remember to claim the offer. It is up in the carousel. It's working because y'all, they're letting me do this week after week because y'all are having fun with it and participating and having a good time with a 30% PBT on an anytime touchdown scorer. Cris Collinsworth on the show. After this, let's do, peace signs. Let's do it. I haven't slept in 3 days, and we've got my favorite guy on the program next. Hamilton, when I tell you how proud I am that jet lag is not a thing.
I gotta say, I will be the first one to. I thought by today you would be in rough shape, and I was wrong. I thought it was going to catch up to you.
I look like a dragon. I have the mortician makeup on today. That is for sure. But even Glam said to me, Amanda said, even when you're dead tired, you can just, it's a mental game. Mental game.
It's impressive, I gotta say. I would have been the first one,
Should I credit it to my Saratoga water? Don't you love this? This is a nod for you that gave this to me on the plane. I landed at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I got home, turned it around. Voila. Let's do this.
It's got to be the Saratoga water.
I think it's
the key.
It's really, yeah. What a moment that was in time.
Those 2 weeks were
the Gangnam
something.
style of water branding. Okay. I'm curious if Chris thinks Trey should get traded or if he's just going to be like, what a dumb thing you just said. I didn't say he should, by the way. I think I explained my thoughts perfectly.
Yeah.
We have to have a conversation. What did they come back from, though? The Bengals, what was their, 1-5? Was it 2? What did they come back from that was, insane?
Let me say that 1 year.
It was 2 years ago? It wasn't last year. I don't remember. 1-5's in my head, but I don't think that was it. That would have been 1-4?
Yeah, 2022, they started 0-2, went to 2-3, made the playoffs. Last year...
1-4.
Last year was the 1-4, and they came back to get to 9-8, but they didn't make the playoffs.
Saratoga water.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Got Trey. I have to get Chris. Oh, remind me to get Chris's recommendation for Notre Dame. Again.
Oh, yes.
Now I'm getting pulled in. Now, I have a man wanting to deliver me Notre Dame cookies. Somebody wants to bring me a steak from some, Knights Watch. I don't remember. I don't even know what it is.
Knights of Columbus?
Yes, yeah. There you go.
I saw that.
A steak sandwich. I've got, They're treating me like Green Bay, I don't know. I don't know the strip club in South Bend, but the strip club, the local strip club Oval Office in Green Bay sent me 2 hoodies. That's the only thing I'm missing so far to really hit for the cycle.
Is that why you're putting this out there? You want South Bend, Indiana Surf Club sending you merch?
I do. You're
you
on.
Want Jake to clip this off
I'm so excited to
there?
go. Yes, except it's my rain take did not go over well, which I loved.
At wide receiver, number 80, Cris Collinsworth. Deep for Collinsworth, he's open. Got it.
My next guest, an analyst for NBC Sunday Night Football. I love those highlights. The owner of Pro Football Focus. He's wearing the hat. I love it. Cris Collinsworth, how are you?
Jay, what's happening? I think you need to put your off-camera conversation on camera. That's really interesting.
It's actually live on YouTube, so people did see that. Yeah.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to South Bend. Let's make this all about me. Let's make this interview. Let's start this off like this.
You know what? Nobody would love that more than me. That's great.
Jack, of course, spends time there. You got a lot of connection to South Bend. Where should I go? Give me the to-do list for Notre Dame this weekend.
Well, my other son, Austin, was the captain at the Notre Dame football team. And it's like you really don't want to wander more than a couple of blocks from the stadium.
Okay.
There's like an Irish pub over on the corner, and to lose the atmosphere of that place, like you go on there, and I've been to a lot of college campuses, I've been to a lot of stadiums, I've been to a lot of things. You know, you got to go see the grotto. You got to, there's certain things that you got to do. But, touchdown Jesus in the background, the kids all walk across campus and you high five the players as they come in. And I will say the coldest I've ever been, though, was during the spring game at Notre Dame last year. I was like, wait, this is supposed to be the spring game. At Florida, we were sweating our tails off with this thing.
Yeah.
And they're coming up on the USC game, which I'll never forget. Because my son Austin was returning the opening kickoff. This was the first game at night, and the whole thing. And sure enough, the opening kickoff comes right down to him. And I've announced 5 Super Bowls, national championship games. I've been able to control things emotionally a little bit. That ball hit Austin in his hands, and I stood up and I went, "Go, Austin!" You would have thought I was a 6-year-old girl. I'm telling you, I was so completely gone. I was like, what just happened to me? Like, the emotions that happen, not only in that stadium, but, just in general, when your kid's out there playing and doing things, it was just some of the great memories that I'll ever have.
I absolutely love that. Have you ever been to the Linebacker, Cris? The bar?
I have. Yes.
Okay. Whose name should I draw? Let's say it's going to rain. I'm a brat. I want to get in. They're saying it's one in. Whose name do I drop that will give me the likeliest entry into the linebacker? Out of all the alum, we can go Golix, we can go Sam Hartman, we can go, who's the name?
Mine.
Yours?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm telling you,
Cris,
tell them that we're going to put it on the NBC.
Yes.
We'll put it on the NBC broadcast. We'll put it on Sunday Night Football. If you don't get in there dropping a few names, NBC related, I'm going to be very, very disappointed. And we will, trust me, you want me to call in advance?
I'm going to FaceTime you. I'm going to FaceTime you. But it begs the question, how many times have you dropped, Matt, in your real life to get into a golf course? We'll get you on the I'll make a mention. How often does that happen, Collinsworth?
Okay, well, a lot. But, so I always say, though, I'm just the right amount of famous, right?
Okay,
so
you're very
I'm
tall.
just famous. No, like
bad.
I know the Michael Jordans of the world. That Patrick Mahomes of the world, that looks miserable to me. Miserable. They can't go out of their house. They can't do anything. Me, I want a little better table at a restaurant. I was like, hey, if you ever wanted to go to a Sunday night, I can work it a little bit. And they're like, oh, yeah, I didn't recognize you, but I recognize the voice a little bit. Oh, you're the guy on Sunday night. Okay, let's take him out of the toilet and bring him back up in here somewhere where he actually has a view. Yeah. Do I do that? Of course I do.
I think I'm dropping Austin's name, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's better.
Well, I'm thinking about what you're saying. You're too tall I would not enjoy being your level of fame because you're recognizable. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I
mean,
always feel bad for Gronk. Like, if Gronk was, you know, like not so imposing, or Shaq, like, I just feel, or Kevin Durant, like, I truly feel, you're in that club of being tall, and then people start thinking, that must be somebody, you know?
Yeah, but I'm tall and skinny, so it's not like Shaq. There's no way Shaq's getting away.
I feel bad for Shaq.
I mean, it's unbelievable, and he's just a great dude. He just will shake hands with, you know, people, but he keeps on moving through the crowd.
Yeah.
And, you know, he does what he does. But I honest to goodness, I really do. Some of those people in NBC's doing some work with Michael Jordan. We happen to be down there. And he goes to the same restaurant every night because they just treat him normally, and he goes in there, and it's amazing how much some of those people just want a normal life, like things that we all take for granted, just being able to go out and go shopping and go to a restaurant. They really can't. They just can't.
How involved is Michael Jordan going to be? What do you know? Give me I mean, Tirico's doing his thing. It starts next week, I believe. NBA back on NBC. Give me the scoop. What do you know?
Oh, man, I'm going to get shot for some of this. I'm sure it's all a big surprise, but he will be, it will be a deep dive into the brain of Michael Jordan. Is that enough of a tease without giving away anything?
Into the brain?
Yes. Okay. Like the things that you would really want to know from Michael Jordan. If you got a chance to sit down and just have a conversation with Michael Jordan, no cameras, just a couple of glasses of wine, and just enjoy a great conversation about all the things that you knew about him or thought you knew about him from watching the series, and the whole thing like that. You're going to get that. Plus, you're going to get a very focused, not, Michael, who do you think the best player in the NBA is? It's not that stuff. It's like details way inside the brain of the greatest basketball player that ever lived.
Got it. So it sounds like it's not going to be live action. It's going to be like a feature. We'll have features, little moments.
I'm acting like I know what I'm talking
You do.
about.
I know
just
you
know
do.
Little bits and pieces of it. I think there'll be bits and pieces of both. I think you'll get very much the Michael experience. And he's fantastic. He's one of the great, how do you say this? He busts chops better than anybody I have ever known. I wish I could tell you, the first time I walked up to him and said hello, he went, bam, 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 just like that. I mean, 3 shots right across the mouth, and was laughing. I can't say. I honestly, I cannot say. But he was a Bengals fan. Hey, you have something in common if you ever meet him.
Oh, I am. Michael Jordan and I have a lot in common, of course. Yes, of course.
Yeah,
what do you mean he's a Bengals fan? What?
Yes. So I was sitting there. It was great. So we're at NBC, and we just played his golf course. And so we're there, and Michael was there, and all the brass from NBC is, literally begging him to try and come work for NBC. So I went up and just sat down. Well, another one of my bosses came along. I won't say who. John, but he came by, and he was like, Chris, we've got a table for you down here. And I was like, oh, okay. You don't want me to sit with okay, no problem. So I get up and I walk down to the table. As soon as I walked away, apparently Michael said to the group, I grew up a Bengals fan back in that era, and we used to watch them all the time. So now my friend had to come back and say, hey, we really want you to come back here with Michael's table. I almost said, nope, can't do it. Can't make it. Sorry, not me. Can't do it.
Chris, the way that I would never walk up to Michael Jordan, the second that you said, if you could talk to him at a bar, no cameras, I broke out into like a sweat. I could never go up to him. I would never go say hello to him. Is there somebody that exists like that for you?
There was. Brooks Robinson was my guy that played for the Baltimore Orioles, the third baseman, absolutely brilliant guy. And the other one was, I did a radio show in Cincinnati for like 10 years. And so Boog Powell came around selling beer or something. I don't know what it was. And so that was my team. And I'm the only kid that ever grew up in Florida that made his family go on vacation to Baltimore, Maryland, so he could watch the Baltimore Orioles play baseball. So Brooks, I love. Johnny Unitas was the other one. I got to talk to Johnny for like 2 minutes one time. It was I was such a Baltimore guy. And but Boog Powell came on selling beer, and I could barely talk to him. I felt like I was that 8-year-old kid again. It's really funny, but I think almost everybody has somebody that's like that in their life.
You mentioned Patrick Mahomes. Let's talk a little football. Yeah, Michael Jordan's that for me, but I'm excited to see all of that action. Patrick Mahomes, he's the favorite to be MVP. It's all happening. Rashid's back. They're 3-3. When you look at, I feel like it's this narrative. Rashid comes back, and you guys just wait. Rashid, can you explain just from your expertise, what does that actually mean? What can I actually expect as he's set to return to the squad?
So he came back, I guess he came back a couple of weeks ago. And apparently, along with Worthy, so they've got the 3 speed guys that all run under, 4.3. And then they've got the possession kind of guys, Travis and Juju and those kind of guys. And where he fits is right in between. And there's something about the passion of Rashid Rice that just is the guy that they all galvanize around. And Mahomes is the guy, and Kelsey and all those guys, they get all the attention. But there's something about Rashid Rice and what he means inside that building, the connectivity of Rashid Rice. And they were all, there were people that were on that team, on that coaching staff, that were telling me they were more confident with this 2-3 team than they ever were with the team that won 15 games and went to the Super Bowl a year ago. And they felt like that Rashid Rice was the last piece of the puzzle. So Worthy and Rice and all these guys in training camp before the suspension happened all ended up, and apparently this offense was just ripping up and down the field. Yeah. And we all know what they're going to do with Spags on the defensive side. They're always going to be good over there. But they're just ripping up and down the field. Then the suspension, then Worthy gets hurt, and and it just kind of didn't start right. But the feeling is that, and I almost said this, I was so mad at myself that I didn't say it. When Mike Tirico asked me about, do you think the Chiefs should be worried, at 2-3 for our opening on camera? And my first impulse was to say the rest of the league should be worried about this 2-3 team. And I backed off of it. I said, nobody can jinx a team worse than I can. And I guarantee if I'd have said it, they'd have lost 40-0. But I just had a feeling from watching them practice, from watching the comments about the importance of Rice, knowing that the health was coming back, knowing that the left tackle and the left guard position was becoming secure in a way that it hadn't been for at least the last 2 or 3 years. I felt really good about the Kansas City Chiefs, and they came out, and yes, Detroit had a decimated secondary, but both those teams are going to be right there at the end of the year. Believe me on that one. I
think it's interesting. Everybody talks about more of the X's and O's stuff, his yak ability, the speed factor. The first thing you said was passion. I think that's so interesting.
Well, inside a locker room, it's like anything else, and you guys probably have people in your studio that. For me, it was Phil Simms back when I worked for Inside the NFL. I would have to, in order to do that show and do the radio show, and I had 4 kids, and I had the Sunday Night Football, and I'm like all over the place trying to feed these babies. So I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to make the airplane, and I'd get up there, and some days you're just kind of dragging, it's hard to make yourself do the routine again. And I'd come walking in there, and Phil Simms would be on my butt from the minute I walked in the door. He was so abusive and funny and hilarious, and just, one of those guys that just brought everything out in me every single week. And I think that Rashid Rice probably is not quite that, but he's the guy that made it fun to walk in the locker room. He's the guy on the field that they had all the reps with, that they just over and over some of those underneath routes. So now you add Juju along with Travis Kelce with some of those short, quick routes. And now you kind of got that intermediate guy in between the deep guys that are going down the field. I think they're loaded. The one thing that they have not gotten going yet is the running game. And Pacheco, weird. I thought the last 2 or 3 weeks is finally starting to look like Pacheco again after the injury that he went through. So I think this team's loaded. I really do.
They've got the Raiders. I feel like the rest of the division didn't crush it well. This has all been going on, and they've been figuring it out. So here come these Chiefs to do their thing, of course, here in Week 7, which is insane that we're already here. I want to get to Sunday Night Football, but you are wearing the PFF hat. PFF getting some bullets here lately from former players. Pat McAfee, Chris Long I think, kicked it off, J.J. Watt. These conversations about PFF grades over the last couple of days. all acknowledging the incredible tool that PFF is, but the grading system seems to be under fire. Also not new, I don't think, from players to hear that. What do you think when you're hearing these conversations?
Thanks for the attention. You're helping our sales. I mean, it's sort of ironic that we've had other coaches that have complained much louder to me about this, right? And those guys would call me and I would say, Coach, come on in, meet my guys, look at our system, pick it apart, do anything you want. I just take a look at the whole thing. Of those coaches, one of them asked for and did buy into our company. One of them asked to buy into the company and said he couldn't afford it. And another one endorsed cutting a player based on PFF grades with the team that he was with. So a lot of people have their own opinions. You know, we grade things, we evaluate things. You know, Bijan Robinson has a couple of fumbles and, you know, that's hurt his grade. And he's arguably been the best back in all of football this year. So there's always a complaint, but, you know, we've spent literally tens of millions of dollars trying to perfect this system. Every NFL team, every college team, every Canadian Football League team has it. We're building the same thing for soccer right now around the world. Everybody uses it. Every announcer almost, other than a couple, you know, JJ, come on over. We'll open the doors. We'll give you anything you want for your announcing. But yeah, I think it's easy to criticize if you haven't seen how the potato chips are made, but open invitation to all those guys, anybody that wants to come in and take a look, debate, argue, sit down, pound the table. We've had a lot of people do it in the past, and we'll have a lot of people that'll do it in the future, but we invite everybody. So
a big thank you from Cris Collinsworth with the discourse. And
thank you. It was, I mean, yeah. You know, it's the bottom line is that you need all the data you can get, you know, and I think where a lot of people get emotional is we rank the players. And of course, that all started with the draft. So we were, you know, in the draft, we would rank the players from 1 to 500 or whatever it was, but we studied those guys. We had grades. We evaluated every single player in college football. Can you imagine how much time and energy that takes? And we said, well, we've got the same thing in the National Football League. Let's rank the players. And so when these general managers and coaches come up and say, hey, I need a wide receiver, who would you guys take? Which they do all the time. We would say, well, here's 3 or 4. Take a look at these guys on film and see what you think. And so it's just a ranking system. And anytime when people rank announcers and I'm not at the top of the list, I'm mad. You would be too. I mean, It's the same thing with the players. So I get it. I totally understand, you know, what's going on. So I don't get emotional over it. Just we invite them all, anybody who wants to challenge our system, come on in. And probably at the end of the day, you're going to want to buy into PFF too.
I like that you're, damn, Cris. You were like, I like that you're standing by the process. Because the question I was going to ask you, do you consider tweaking the process? This all seemed to start publicly the past couple of days because Chris Long said that seeing it on the TV that Patrick Mahomes, who you hear a lot about as well, we'll get to that, as we always do, that he's 14th. He's the 14th, and like there was a newcomer seeing that on television to be like, oh, he's not a very good quarterback. Is Patrick Mahomes the 14th ranked quarterback?
According to this year's statistics, and let's face it, he had a pick 6 for 99 yards that cost him a game. So there are players that have played better over the first 5 games of the season. And because there's a blending in weeks 1 through 4, you have the data, only that data counts. And then we add on the previous season to give the data a little depth. By the time we get to this, I think it's week 5, that by the time you get to week 5, now you have a different system. It's just those 5 games. So you're going to get some skewed numbers, but people only want to know what they're doing this year. So based on just those 5 games, is Patrick Mahomes where he should be? I would argue yes. We can debate it. We can talk about it as we go. But it has been big mistakes, and I said it in the opening on camera the other night. It's been big mistakes by their star players. Chris Jones had a bad grade the other day. And in part, they went out and Spags kind of got on a press conference and they asked him about Chris Jones's grade. And, he sort of laughed it off and did this thing. But the bottom line is I'm getting so many calls from a lot of other people now, announcers. I mean, every announcer almost uses PFF. Almost everyone. Now, there's one or two that don't, and they're paying for it. These are big, famous name guys, and I'm not going to say who it is, but they are. Everybody wants to use it. Announcers, radio people, people that are famous in our industry have been calling me and go, please, God, Chris, don't stop doing the grades. It's the only thing that we have outside the teams telling us who the best linemen are, who the best linebackers are. It's our only data source out there where somebody has actually looked at every single play of every single player in the National Football League, college football, Canadian League, and now the soccer leagues. Don't take that away from us. And so if the players don't like being ranked, I understand it. I don't like being ranked either. But the bottom line is we have it. It's an asset of ours, and it's something we're going to sell in our business.
It's data, and information is power. You want as much of it as possible, which is what you provide. And I loved Trevor, even Trevor yesterday, just saying it's a piece of the puzzle, and that's the way it should be looked at. I just thought that was really eloquently put by a guy.
That's exactly right. And I think I think that anybody's going to take our PFF grades into the draft and go 1 through 32, and that's who they're going to take? Of course not. It's a piece of the puzzle.
I'm like, I do that when I'm drafting my fantasy team. I just go, I just let it rip, yeah.
But we not only, the hard part is, and this is where I'm going to agree, and this is something we're discussing, that when you try to put anything into one grade, then you fail. Let's say, you lose as many points on our system for missing a tackle as a defensive back as you do for allowing a completion in your area or a touchdown pass. So when you combine everything, it can be tough. Patrick Mahomes, if he, makes a bad run, that's as big a negative as it is if he throws an interception. So when you're trying to put everything into one grade, so what we're talking about doing, which I think would really be exciting, is to cut those slivers even more. We have 160 data points on every play for every player. Wow. So we're talking about taking, who's the best tackling defensive back in the NFL? Who's the best run stopper in the NFL? Who's the best in pass breakups in the NFL? Who's the best at playing the ball in the air? We have all that data. It's just a matter of how much work and how many more millions of dollars am I willing to spend to break it down. Everybody else has their system. I have my system. We probably have 600 people working for us on this system. JJ, I welcome you. Create your own system. I swear to you, I'll put it on the air. I will. But I doubt anybody else is going to spend the money I have to try and make this perfect.
And we'll leave it at that. Well said, Chris. I'm excited to hear some of the feedback from this. Of course, I have to get your thoughts before you go on Monday Night Football. Not Monday Night Football. What happened with Troy and Caleb, and then Caleb responds, which is we always hear the mob comes after announcers. That's nothing new. That's been going on forever. That's to be expected. When you sort of heard this entire fiasco in its entirety, what was going through your head?
I'm going to admit I hosted our Pink Ribbon Luncheon. We had 1,400 beautiful ladies in Cincinnati, Ohio. And Leanne Morgan was our entertainment. And for once in the entire season, I did not see that game. So I'm going to back off. I'm in enough controversy on my very own. But I'll tell you this, Troy Aikman studies very hard to do what he does. And he does not say anything lightly. If he had something to say, it would be because it's what he honestly believed. He's a great friend of mine. He works his ass off. And I would back him up without even knowing what the hell he said.
This is going to live on in production meeting lore. What is your most unique production meeting story?
Oh, boy.
What sticks out?
I have had a lot of them. And unfortunately, it's generally people who are mad about something. But it's also the reason that we show up on Friday. We go to practice, and not everybody does anymore, but we go to practice. And every once in a while, some 330-pound guy will come walking towards me, and all I can think of is, oh boy, what's his PFF grade? What's his PFF? So, you know, I mean, it's part of the business. You're asked to give honest opinions. I think that the really good announcers do give honest opinions, and there is a blowback. It is not one of those things that you say it and nobody ever makes a comment on you. It's if you rank all the players in the NFL, you're going to hear comments on it. And I am not afraid of any of it. I believe the system should be that all of us be as honest as we can. And when they tell us something, generally, if it's even bad about me, I will put that on the air and let people know this is an honest give and take. It's what makes great television, and it's what makes great shows like yours. And so, yeah, I'm proud of what we do for a living. I'm proud of the guys that it's not as easy as people think. I mean, we work really hard. We study really hard. We collect all the data we can collect to work at NBC and make Sunday night as good a show as we can make it.
Is one of those people that's running through your head that you think about the PFF scores? Is one of them happen to be playing tonight?
They're playing every night of the week.
Is one of them Aaron Rodgers, Christopher?
You know, Aaron and I we have a great relationship. Good. We really do. We have an open and honest relationship, which is all I care about. That's all I care about. As long as somebody's willing to tell me exactly what they think, and I can say exactly what I think, I usually end up great friends with those kinds of people. You
have the Niners and the Falcons on Sunday, but the next week I jumped ahead, and it is Steelers-Packers in Pittsburgh. When you get into that production meeting with Aaron, what are you dying to ask him?
You know, the obvious question is, you know, what do you think about? I mean, when you walk out on the field and you see the Green Bay Packers, where you won all the MVPs and you were the legend of all legends, you know, along with Brett and a few others. I mean, let's face it, it's Green Bay Packers. But, I mean, you can't just walk out there and it not be a little different, right? And he's experienced it before with former teams. And, you know, this isn't the first new team that he's played with. But the Packers, man, I mean, he's going to be a banner and a part of that world championship forever and a day up there and all those MVPs. And it just has to be unique. I can't wait for the game. I can't. There's something about uniforms on Sunday Night Football. We talk about it all the time. Sometimes they're great games. And sometimes there are great games that also have great uniforms. This is a great game that has great uniforms.
I love that, but let's not jump ahead. We're here. We do have Falcons-Niners, great game, great freaking game. Kittle, Mac Jones, Brock Purdy back at practice yesterday. They're limited, though, and Purdy's being, I guess, more limited than Mac is what we're saying. There's this genuine debate when both are healthy. I got to ask you, which quarterback gives them the best chance?
I was really impressed with Mac Jones. I just got finished watching it last night. But Brock Purdy, I mean, my goodness, the guy is lit it up when he was in there. But Mac Jones was sacked 6 times in that game last week. And, you know, they lost Fred Warner, and their secondary was a mess. But Mac Jones was still hitting big plays down the field. And really, if it had not been for a few real breakdowns on the defensive side, and who knows how much the loss of Fred Warner meant, you know, to just coordinating the defense. And they're trying to shuffle in some new people in the safety position and do some different things. So they just made some big mistakes on the defensive side that they kind of fixed in the second half, late in the second half. So we'll see whether or not that carries forward. But you know, the 49ers are a sneaky team. They always seem to find a way in, and when they get in, they seem to find a way to the championship or the Super Bowl. But this Atlanta Falcons team, do not underestimate this team. They are, and I think that one of the things that has been a little bit of a surprise has been how good they've become on the defensive side. They drafted the 2 edge players, and so now, you know, Atlanta, when you talk about Atlanta in the draft, what do you say every single year? They have terrible pass rush. You know, they can't get it done with their pass rush. They draft 2 this year. They're rotating them all in there. Divine Diablo has become a pass rushing inside linebacker along with Caden Ellis. Those 2 is kind of a 1-2 punch, really getting it done. I mean, this is a team that will attack San Francisco in a way that They'll try to take away some of those short, quick throws. So it'll be interesting. I think both of them will be a little out of character. They're going to force San Francisco to throw the ball down the field, I would imagine. And when that happens, they hit a bunch of them last week and they get it done again. But big plays at a game like this. Drake London was fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
A week ago. I mean, so we've all been waiting, right? We've been waiting for that breakout moment for the Atlanta Falcons. Maybe the game against the Buffalo Bills was that.
It was, and they've won 3 of their last 4. Number 2 in total defense. Zach Robinson doing his thing. Okay, we appreciate you, Cris. Thank you so much. With that PFF hat giving us, you're going to go get shot about Michael Jordan. I don't want to hear from your NBC PR today. Just let's
they'll
relax.
Just call me. Believe me, they won't call you. They'll call me.
You're the best.
That's right. We're open and honest. I'm happy.
I love it. I'm going to drop your name with the linebacker. Expect my call Saturday afternoon when I'm like 9 Guinnesses deep, my friend. I appreciate you.
See you, Kate.
You're the best. Oh, man. Hamilton, I just love him so much. Can we just do it tomorrow, please? I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Ham, we're going to move that. And now we get Donovan. Yay.
Yeah.
Can you edit like accordingly as I'm asking?
Gotcha.
Feel me? Doesn't that's like the biggest help you guys could do for me during a show. And it doesn't happen. I don't know how to do that. But let's jump onto it. Still start with highlights. And that's a
I think
SLATE?
that's yes, it's a SLATE bumping in.
Okay, cool.
Incredible play. I think guys being here, I think we lose 3.
And then you think 6 needs to happen? Or just straight to 7?
I think we can go straight to 7 from there.
Okay,
So
why
if
don't
we
you
can
take
lose
that
3 and 6.
Great. What a game this is going to be.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz, we love it. Okay, I love this play too. This is great.
It's unbelievable.
Down the middle, end zone, Armstrong. Touchdown, Washington.
I love this so much. My favorite guest, I haven't talked to him in a long time, 6-time Pro Bowler, Eagles Hall of Famer, 13 years in the league, Philly, Washington, Minnesota, Donovan McNabb. We just showed these highlights of you outdueling a guy who's playing tonight. That was back in 2010. 48-yard pass to Anthony Armstrong. What do you remember about that?
Obviously, my tenure in Philadelphia ended and moved on to one of our rivals with the Washington Redskins at that particular time. Great group of guys in the locker room. Unfortunately, we weren't able to, in 1 year, or I should say more than 9-10 months, able to gel as well as we know we could have if we would have been able to spend more time together. But it was a lot of fun. Like I said, that locker room was one that we could have got a lot more if we would continue to stay together, but unfortunately we didn't. But to play against Aaron and to see Aaron playing now, 1, he's crazy.
What do you mean?
2, remember, he was younger. He's younger than me. So if I'm still going, people would probably think I'm crazy because I'm close to 50. But I still look great. I mean, I feel great, but I can't do what he's doing. But I'm really excited to see what he's doing right now and what he can continue to do with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they're handling it the right way by trying to run the football and be more methodical as far as the quick game in the intermediate passing game, where Aaron's not moving around a lot. He's not trying to just fling the ball down the field so much because they don't have the weapons to be able to do that.
I mean, you beat the eventual Super Bowl champ, the Super Bowl MVP, and I do believe that was like a top 2 defense in the National Football League that day.
That doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter.
Really?
I just do my thing. That's all I do.
I think it adds to your legacy. I love seeing it. You know, did you see what Tomlin said about trading quarterbacks within the division?
Yeah. But, I mean, one thing that you have to understand, too, I'm sure that the Cleveland Browns were trying to ship him somewhere far away, maybe in the NFC. And at this time of the season, as well as where we are today and the way the game is being played, not a lot of guys are going after a 40-year-old quarterback. You know what I mean? And that's not something that you want to have on your roster because you want to go young. And so for the Cleveland Browns, the problem with the Cleveland Browns, and Mike Tomlin didn't say it, is they're listening to the fan crowd. And when the fans are crying and they're asking for Shador and, you know, all of a sudden, I feel bad for Dylan Gabriel, to be honest with you. Dylan Gabriel was a third-round draft pick that was solid. He played well everywhere he's been in college. And we tend to forget that he's a winner. He's efficient. He's accurate. He has mobility. And he may not be 6'3", 6'4", whatever, but he makes it happen. And so it's funny how people are preying on his downfall just to get Shador. And this is the best thing for Shador in Cleveland, to be able to sit and learn and see it from the sideline, because this ain't college. This ain't college where you come in your freshman year and all of a sudden you have just a like kind of below average year and then you're coming back that next year. No, if you have a below average year when you're in there, they're going to look to put somebody else in there or draft another guy. So this is the time for him to learn and be able, when his time is there to step in, then possibly he'll be a lot more be ready, you know, to go in if need be. But I'm with Tomlin. I mean, you trade somebody within the division and then he's starting that game. That's crazy. I've never seen that happen before much.
Great takes by you. Love hanging out with Donovan McNabb. We've got this game tonight. You know, Aaron sat behind Brett. He learned. He developed. That's probably led to a lot of his success.
I did too.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And we're saying, you know, he's crazy for doing what he's doing, all that. This game tonight, you got these two older guys. Like everyone's calling it the Unc Bowl or the Icy Hot Bowl, whatever it is. Do you remember when you knew that, maybe it wasn't your last year specifically, but when you knew, like, we're way closer to the end here, mentally, what was that like game to game? Were you taking it in, enjoying the moment, or were you, like, trying harder maybe than ever, pushing? Like, what are the feelings? Were you just beat the F up after those games? Like, what was that like?
Well, you want to defy the odds, and you try not to let that creep into your mindset, especially when you're training and preparing and you're going through your regimen as you normally do in the off season. Is you're in the weight room, you're out spending extra time watching film, you're out running, you're throwing with the guys, whatever it may be that you're doing, and you're knowing that you're getting older, so your body doesn't recover as fast. So now your diet really starts to pay more. You pay more attention to your diet and recovery and things of that nature. And it's just, if you're settled in with a team, then you're looking all around and all of a sudden you're 10 years, you know, older than these guys. And you're looking and it's like, okay, I can see the youth movement is starting to happen, but I got to continue to establish myself each and every day as the guy that's going to be here. And you know, at some point they're going to make that move. And when you get closer toward the end and you start to really feel it, you know, every mistake you make, every decision you make, you know that's going to be magnified. And you know at some point they're going to try to pull the trigger. So you got to continue to be careful. And when it does happen, you got to appreciate kind of your legacy. You got to appreciate everything that you've done leading up into this point and kind of ride off in the sunset the right way. But you also got to have a plan B. And that's the problem with a lot of these older players, that either they're walking out on their own terms or they just don't receive those calls. And sometimes it could be guys that are in their late 20s or possibly 31, 32. You got guys that, like myself, who went to about 32, 34 years old. And so, you know, I knew what my plan B was. And so I went directly into TV and radio. And so a lot of these guys still hear the crowd. And that's why you see a lot of them making comments and things of that nature. It's like, dude, just sit back and watch the game like everybody else. You know, order some pizza, get some wings, you know, get to the gym Monday through Friday. You know, just live your life. And these guys just can't do it. And
a plan B is also family. I wanted to quickly congratulate you. Soraya commits to play softball at Indiana. I know that's a big part of your life. Your son, Donovan, your wide receiver, taking D1 visits right now. What can you tell me?
I'm spending a lot of money on these unofficial visits. The club circuit, you know, for softball is starting to weigh in my pockets. I may go into breakdancing or something to make some money on the side. But, you know,
Cameo.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, check me out on Cameo. I'm here if you need me.
He's here. Little birthday wishes, you'll see. But you're so funny.
But the thing about it is, man, you know, as a parent, and no matter if you play sports or not, you just want to create the correct path for your kids to be able to be successful, if it's academically or athletically. And she really enjoyed being around the coaches and players at Indiana. I took her to the camp, a couple times. I love what they're doing over there. She had a few other calls that are off scholarship offers, but she chose Indiana, and I'm excited for her. And then now Donovan, her twin, is up. And so, just
I heard a rumor.
No rumors, no rumors.
I heard he had a visit.
We took a couple
Washington.
Visits. Yeah, we went to Washington. We went to Minnesota. We have a few other trips ahead, just so he can get a chance to get ingratiated into the culture, get a chance to see the campus, meet the team, go to the game, enjoy it. So we have a lot of other visits that are set unofficially. And then once the season's over, we'll continue to communicate with a lot of these schools. And then hopefully some official will come up.
Your kid, Warren Moon's kid, on the same field together? That's my. I know he's still on trips. That's my dream. I would love to see that happen. I want to ask you before we go about.
Warren Moon, I'll tell you.
That'd be awesome.
He was at the game. We look like old dudes standing on the sideline. Yeah.
I love everything about making cameos, TikToks, doing whatever you do. I love that. There's rumors swirling for weeks. A.J. Brown could be dealt before the deadline. Is this absolutely nonsense? Can you see it happening? What should happen?
I don't know the contract situation, nor am I in the locker room, so I can't really speak on that whole thing. I think for me is when I'm watching from afar and just kind of dissecting with the way the offense is looking, he's not involved. He's not involved as much in the offense, and what they're doing is a lot of intermediate and quick game. And so everyone's looking for Saquon to run more. That was a long season for him last year. And the offensive line has been banged up, and guys have been interchangeable. So it's not the same type of offense. It's not so much of the full-on coordinator, and everybody wants to point the finger at him, because every coordinator that they've had over the last 5-6 seasons has went through this whole process. They need to form an identity and figure out who they are and kind of stick to it. And they will, I'm sure, in the next 2 to 3 or 4 weeks.
We have very little time, but I want to look at your MVP list.
How my time get cut off? I'm telling you. No, I'm just joking.
You're the best. What do you mean you don't have to work that much? This is great. You can go do whatever you want to do. Let's take a look at your MVP list as we wrap it up here. This is an unbelievable list. The Eagles may disown you for this one, Donovan. Dak is your top pick. Tell me this. What?
Dak, first of all, has no defense whatsoever. CeeDee Lamb has been hurt. They've been mixed matching different guys. It's just pretty much him. And they're running the football, yes, but their play action game and intermediate passing game has been on fire. They're the reason they're in a position they are is because of Dak. Baker Mayfield has battled injury, but he at least has his number one receiver. Mike Evans will be back. I love what he's doing. Sam Darnold needs some love because everybody wrote Sam Darnold off after those last 3 weeks of the season in Minnesota. And now he's come to Seattle and changed that whole organization around. Obviously, we've seen Jackson and Njigba and what he's able to do downfield. But, you look at all the list, the guys that I had on the list, I want to give Drake May some love. And the reason I say give Drake May some love, because everybody just really basically said he was awful in his rookie year. And we all know how that went over there in New England with the coaching staff and no mentorship, no leadership to help him through the process. What he's been able to do with Mike Vrabel and bringing Josh McDaniels back, he needs a lot of attention, and I think he's going to continue to grow and flourish.
This list is so good. I would turn your mentions off, though, after this MVP list. We appreciate you, Donovan. We, of course, can hear your takes on WIP. Life is good. You're smiling. Great to see you, and go Eagles.
Yes, indeed. And have fun. I love the show. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Donovan. Talk soon.